Hi, I decided to do the slideshow portion, and my name is Erica Shop. What is formative assessment? It is formal and informal assessments that engage how a teacher can modify her lessons accordingly through the learning process. So, what this means is if a teacher is doing a lesson, this is a way that we can gauge on whether the students are actually learning what we are teaching. And if they are not, it gives us a chance to go back and reteach it in a way that they would understand. So formative assessment and summative assessment are two different things, but they're both very important. Formative shows how we can improve our instruction. So this shows of what is working and what's not working for our students. And it is used throughout the lesson. And it shows whether the students are understanding what we are teaching or not. Summative is shows how we can measure competency. It is used at the end of the instruction and shows progress towards our goals. This is the type that is used for grading and what we are doing to be moving up in the next grade level. So the importance of formative assessment for teachers are they can just engage the understanding and modify teaching accordingly. And for students, it's that students will not be left behind. They will be able to understand fully before moving on to the next task. And I think this gives a confidence to the students and shows them that they are important and we want them to learn it. And we want them to be honest with us. And we all want the same thing. Formative assessment and instructions. There's 5 different ones that I use for an example. The first one is students show a finger from 1 to 5 on whether they understand or not, with 1 being not at all and 5 being mastered. I'm not a big fan of this one because I feel like students could be embarrassed and they wouldn't be exactly honest on it. The second one is an exit slip. This is the most private one per se because students write a couple sentences. And this one, they have no choice but to be honest because it would be a question that would show whether they understand or not. So it's what did you learn today or what does this item mean? And they would write a couple sentences. And this way you could go back and see which students are not understanding. And then brainstorming, this would be in a group setting where you'd go up and give an example of an item and then we ask the students what would fall under this category. And then if they are wrong, it's just a reteachable moment where they are learning alongside in a different way. So that one's a very good assessment. And then think, pair, share. They think for a couple minutes. They go into with a group, and this way they bounce ideas back and forth, and then they go up and they share it with the classroom again. Kind of like brainstorming, it's a relearning process. Whiteboards is my favorite because they are able to show what they are learning in a group session, but they're holding it up and I think this is the best way because they show the teacher and the teacher is able to just give a quick look over of who knows what and make a mental note of that. So real life scenario, my student teacher when I was doing student teaching, she did this for spelling. She would have a kid go up and write on the board the spelling word, and then each student were writing it by themselves at their board, and then they would hold it up at the end and they would it was like boys against girls, and if the student up front got it right, then the students in the audience, whether it was a girl or a boy, they would get a point whether the majority of them got it. This was a fun game for the students and they thoroughly, I think, enjoyed it. This is something I would definitely do in the future because it was fun and it was a way of engaging what the students know and whether they are confident with those words. All right. Thank you guys for your time.